The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
Hello and welcome. This is Saturday's news. In this edition, use and abuse of AI in schools, double celebration for Tedi, and women call for more game time. The PNG Media Summit began this morning with the underlying theme AI, ethics and standards in PNG media future. The World Media Freedom Day, celebrated on the 3rd of May, has the global custodian of the World Press Freedom Day, the United Nations, through its UN Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO. World Media Freedom Day, commemorated every 3rd of May annually, was recognized today through the PNG Media Summit at the Hilton Hotel. The global custodian of the World Press Freedom Day is the United Nations, through its UN Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO. United Nations Resident Coordinator in Papua New Guinea, Richard Howard, spoke on the day and shared that the World Press Freedom Day is not only about celebrating, but those that lost their lives from their courage standing for media freedom. Howard recognized on this special day the bravery and the courage of journalists who sometimes risk their lives and are often harmed and threatened by forces that want to stamp out freedom and democracy, and ultimately, this day of media freedom is about recognizing those who lost their lives. President for the PNG Media Council, Neville Choi, stress on the phases of the Council's steps towards rebuilding, rebranding, reviewing, and refocusing to fit the purpose of the Media Council. He further shared that the panels throughout the summit will be the key areas in AI in the media, what it can bring to PNG, and how it will affect the media in the country. Panel 1 covered the government, media, and society, balancing service delivery responsibility and media freedom in fragile and digitally disfranchised democracies. The second session of the first panel at the PNG Media Summit outlined the media programs in universities of Papua New Guinea. As technology and artificial intelligence rapidly reshape our world, universities must adapt their programs to prepare students for the evolving industry. The Divine Word University's Head of Communication Arts, Patrick Matbob, the Head of School in Communication and Development Studies at the PNG University of Technology, Rachel Aisoli Orake, and Dr. Michael Mell, the Director of Melanesian Institute for Arts and Communication at the School of Humanities and Social Sciences at the University of PNG, were the panelists. The session highlighted the use and abuse of AI, how the universities are handling AI, and how to overcome the challenges faced.
We at Divine, we look at AI and the advancement in technology. We look at it positively. It's something that can help us, and we can use it. But of course, it has its downside, and it can be misused. And so we want to put in place strategies that will ensure that the students are using it properly. And so at Divine Word, we are strong on ethics. And we teach it as a unit, and students have to pass it. And if they don't graduate, they come back and they do.
Guidelines in the way people need to know how to communicate using that particular tool. And so with perspective of that in the university level, for us, singly, we are the administration and the practitioners. We are looking at having to have the policies in place in which students also, in the way they perform and they use that academically.
Dr. Aisoli Orake added that journalism writing has to be done responsibly. She shared that policies have to be developed. However, for Unitec, it's in the infant stages, and over the last 2 years, there were discussions and drafting of policy in relation to AI use in the university. More discussions took place in the evening during the one-day summit and have already stressed many pressing issues in the use of AI in the media space. Papua New Guinea's homegrown mining giant Tedi Mining marked a significant milestone yesterday, officially opening its new corporate office in Port Moresby and launching its 50th anniversary celebrations. Our reporter Carol Kidu Jr. brings you the highlights from the event.
In a move that strengthens its presence in the nation's capital, Tedi Mining Limited unveiled its new office space at the Harborside East Tower in Port Moresby on Friday, May 2nd. The event brought together company executives, government officials, landowner representatives, and industry partners. The opening ceremony was led by OTML's Managing Director and CEO, Tedi Ilimbit, who said the new office reflects the company's evolving role in the mining sector and its commitment to strengthening relationships with key stakeholders.
To move to this building was a little bit struggle. However, the board of Tedi were in full, approval to what we wanted to do, where we wanted to expand Tedi's footprint. Brendan said, the Tedi head office doesn't move. Tedi head office will always remain in Tabuki. What we've set up here is for the Tedi DNA to spread across the country, over the oceans, so that the DNA lives on.
The event also featured the unveiling of OTML's 50th anniversary logo, a golden emblem symbolizing 5 decades of resilience, partnership, and growth since the company's inception in 1975. Established in 1975, OTML has been a cornerstone of Papua New Guinea's economy, operating the country's largest open-pit copper, gold, and silver mine in the Western Province. Over the years, the company has provided critical revenue to the national government, provincial authorities, and impacted communities. NCD City Manager Raul Frank was also present at the event and welcomed OTML's expansion into the city.
On behalf of Governor, the board, management, and staff of NCDC, we'd like to congratulate Tedi for developing or having residents here in the city. I'd like to welcome Tedi here to the city. Having 4 floors is a big statement, and I hear that more of the business ventures are going to come on, and we'd like to work with Tedi as well as the city authority and partner, and continue to provide the services here in the country.
Community representatives at the event praised OTML's enduring partnership with landowners, emphasizing the shared achievements and the road ahead as the company navigates global mining challenges and sustainability goals. As the celebrations continue throughout the year, OTML plans to host a series of community employee and stakeholder events to mark its Golden Jubilee. From its remote roots in Western Province to its new hub here in Port Moresby, Tedi Mining is setting the stage for its next chapter in Papua New Guinea's resource story. Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 News.
Prime Minister James Marape has commended Minister for Provincial and Local Level Government Affairs Soroy Yowe for his leadership in overseeing the resumption of local level government elections across Papua New Guinea after a prolonged delay since 2017. Marape expressed his gratitude to the minister for articulating clear reform measures aimed at strengthening grassroots governance and ensuring that the third tier of government is not only functional, but truly representative of the people it serves. He acknowledged the essential role of LLGs in the national development, noting that nearly 80% of the country's population live and work at the ward and village level. Prime Minister Marape also extended his appreciation to the Electoral Commissioner and the Electoral Commission for their work in preparing and delivering this critical democratic exercise. Looking forward, the Prime Minister appealed to all Papua New Guineans to exercise their democratic rights peacefully and responsibly. Stay with us. TV1 News continues after the break.
Hiya, Mama. You wait time, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up and big smile on face. Time for kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves. This honking is doing your head in. Why don't you go and put a stop to it? Oh, maybe not.
Bing bang bing, ding ding dong, bum bum.
Open nets.
Welcome back to the Santos National Football Stadium. This is going to be a cracker of a match. We got the visitors. Fourth goal shot. Broadhurst is over. Is he? Cuts back in. What a score! The Hunters go bang bang.
Thanks for staying with us. The Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary Training Directorate hosted its first 2025 Commanders Parade at the National Centre of Excellence in Port Moresby on Wednesday, April the 30th. The parade, hosted by the Assistant Commissioner of Police for Training, Pero Dranu, is part of what is called the routine order activity required to maintain the appropriate police culture with RPNGC. When making his address during the parade, ACP Dranu thanked the training staff for their time, dedication and effort to provide a conducive environment that produces quality trainees. He said some of the achievements made so far in the training directorate are the recommencement of officers cadet training in November 2024 and the start of the recruit course in December 2024. He said some of the planned activities that need to be achieved this year are recruitment course of 300 trainees to start in June 2026, commencement of 2 recruit courses every year, and to increase the training number from the current 250 to 300 this year, then to 400 per intake from 2026 onwards. A young lady from Enga Province, Anurika Manda, has been named the Dux of the Legal Training Institute's 2024 cohort, a recognition that reflects her academic excellence, perseverance, and strength of character. Veronica Manda comes from Imang Kabus, a small village in Sak Valley, Enga Province, and was raised by her grandparents following her parents' separation. From an early age, she dreamed of becoming a doctor or engineer. However, inspired by her uncle, a lawyer, and her father, a journalist, she found her calling in the legal profession. Her journey to success was not without obstacles. After initially enrolling to do a postgraduate training at the Legal Training Institute, she had to withdraw due to personal reasons. She later returned to complete her training, a decision that marked a turning point in her professional journey. Her efforts led her to her admission to practice law at the National and Supreme Court of Papua New Guinea on Friday, 25th April 2025 at the Waigani Courthouse, and her achievement as LTI's 2024 cohort Dux stands as a shining example of what determination, purpose, and resilience can achieve. She credits her success to hard work, family support, and faith. Veronica aspires to pursue a master's degree in psychology, particularly in criminology. Her advice to future law students is to prioritize their studies, manage time wisely, and build strong networks. She plans to work alongside her uncle and explore further opportunities in the future. Tracy Pa, TVWAN News. Turning overseas, the Vatican has started preparations for the conclave, which will begin on May the 7th. Vatican News reports that the chimney in the Sistine Chapel has been installed ahead of the conclave. Eyes around the world will be watching the television, looking at the chimney top to see the smoke, announcing whether a new pope has been elected. As preparations gear up for the start of the election process on May the 7th, the Sistine Chapel has been closed, and over the coming days, staff will be setting up the space and audio equipment and prepping the flooring for the election. And behind those closed doors, the process of electing the new successor of St. Peter will begin as millions watch from St. Peter's Square and on television to see the white smoke blow out from the chimney, announcing a new papacy. After a 35-day campaign, Australia Prime Minister Anthony Albanese will be seeking to make history tonight by becoming the first Prime Minister since 2004 to win consecutive elections.
It's game on. If you're looking for signs of confidence within the Labor camp, then look no further than the location they've chosen for the Prime Minister's round of breakfast TV interviews. We are on hallowed turf here, the MCG, for the grand final of federal politics. Anthony Albanese has often used the analogy that he likes to kick with the wind in the fourth quarter, or, in other words, to be ahead in the polls when it matters. And as polls open across the country, it appears he's achieved that aim. All major opinion polls are pointing to a Labor victory tonight. The latest news poll published in The Australian giving Labor the lead 52.5% to 47.5% after preferences. Now, where the polls vary is whether the Labor Party can pick up enough seats to govern in majority. Anthony Albanese says, in his words, he's working his guts out to ensure Labor can govern in its own right.
3 million Australians have on average a $5,500 incentive to vote Labor today and to make sure that we have a majority Labor government.
The Prime Minister's starting his day here in Melbourne, but he'll finish in Sydney, where he'll vote in his seat of Grayndler. But tonight, Anthony Albanese is seeking to make history by becoming the first Prime Minister since 2004 to win consecutive elections.
And that ends the news segment. Sports is next. Stay tuned.
From the rich soils of the highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans, expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend, PNG's own coffee.
Tell him shorty come get it. Come grind on me, but met it. Mommy get loose, get loose, get loose. Pepsi in my hand, ice cold, no excuse. I tell him who's gonna bring that groove down. Pepsi with the fresh sound. Tell him who's gonna bring that groove down. Pepsi with that fresh sound. Pepsi, give me some Pepsi bottle. Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi bottle.
Hurry PNG and enter today to be considered for the 2025 Power Play PNG Awards. Brought to you by ExxonMobil and the PNG LNG project, these awards recognize exceptional Papua New Guineans making significant contributions in the LNG and decarbonization industries. Could you be Papua New Guinea's next great power player? There's only one way to know. Enter now to find out.
Welcome back. Today's first match of the double-header in Round 4 clash of the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup was between the Gurias and ISO at the Santos National Football Stadium in Port Moresby. The visiting team, Gurias, proved too strong for ISO, defeating them 18 points to 16 at full time. Here are the highlights.
He's got the white light in front of him. Oh, great take there. And I think over they go to put on the toe. And great carry.
What a catch.
From the air, comes down with it and slams it down. Too easy. And it's here's Benjamin. Got some space to work with. Runs back in field at this time. Oh, the line. Here's Jeremiah from dummy half. And it looks like he's got this one over the line.
Represent PNG at the tournament.
Queensland Paia is a touch football team, particularly representing PNG in Australia. It is a team composed of individuals, primarily of PNG descent, who reside and play touch football in Queensland, Australia. Their participation at the tournament follows the endorsement of PNG Touch Federation due to financial constraints, the same issue that ruled the national team out of the World Cup last year. TFPNG President Stephen Quim said he and the executives of TFPNG met earlier this year during a special executive meeting and endorsed Queensland PNG Paia to represent the country at the 3-day tournament to maintain PNG's international participation. Quim said the purpose of putting a team in this tournament is to maintain PNG's international participation after 2024 World Cup embarrassment. Quim said TFPNG believes this will hold their place in international participation. Meanwhile, the TFPNG's Australia-based director Christy De La Cruz said they have a talented group of players who are willing and enthusiastic to learn, and they are looking forward to bring them together as a team over the coming weeks. De La Cruz said the team is really excited for the challenge and honored to wear the PNG colors at the event. She said the players are proud of their heritage and are looking forward to represent PNG with pride. The PNG mixed under-20s team include Kiara Hill, Dallas Hill, Edward Isla, Jasmine McDonald, Kaya Skin, Tihana Kanawi, Taya Doni, Dakota Young, Darius Young, Javan Poa, Jordan Tam, Malia Ruri, Toby Wu, and Vastin Nakandao. Shadows are Raymond Lanzarote and Capri Curry. The officials are Jason Campbell, Michael Austin, Jenny Anderson, and Sadi Solian. Rex Lita, TV1 Sports.
Women's State of Origin is drawing more bums on seats and eyeballs on screens, prompting calls for the State versus State series to expand to 40 minutes halves.
Just another rule we can change, Tedi.
Thursday night contest between Blues and Maroons women drew the second largest TV audience of all time for a women's game, with more than 2 million Australians tuning into 9 and 9 now towards the blockbuster spectacle. The figure are further proof of the growing interest in the Women's Rugby League, and one of the stars of the game, Kennedy Charrington, thinks the audience should be given more, calling for the current 70-minute fixtures to be extended to match the men's game. Charrington joins a chorus of players who are keen to be tested over 80 minutes as the women's game grows in popularity. Last year, Queensland Maroons player Evalina Petite also publicly called for Origin games to be extended to 80 minutes. This signaled a belief in the players' increasing capabilities. However, considerations around players' welfare and injury risk have stopped it from progressing further. Currently, women's international matches, including Women's Rugby League World Cup games, are played 40 minutes halves, totaling 80 minutes of gameplay. Supporting the call to extend the game time, Dan Nichols from Rugby League Vodcast Outlaws called on women's State of Origin games to move from 35 minutes halves to 40 minutes halves to mirror the standard of men's Origin and NRL. Rex Lita, TV1 Sports.
The state government will override 15 planning acts to push through approval for new venues for the 2032 Brisbane Olympic and Paralympic Games. Tim Manda says it is for time's sake, but advocates are labelling the move outrageous.
After 6 months in charge, the LNP says life's fantastic. The government's focused on games, with Victoria Park Stadium and all new venues for Brisbane 2032 set to be exempt from major planning rules. It will help shield them from potential legal challenges.
We haven't got time to muck around, and if we don't make these changes, it puts at risk our ability to be able to build the infrastructure that's required.
To override 15 acts, some of which are decades old, developed by both sides of government to protect this city. I think this is quite disturbing. It's actually outrageous.
The legislation means final sign-off on Olympic and Paralympic projects rests with the state rather than councils. The proposed laws mark the first major steps towards shovels in the ground since the government unveiled its long-awaited games plan in March, and it's taken further steps to ensure its non-negotiable deadline is met. 9 members of the Games organising committee won't make the team. The board cut to 15 members, though Andrew Liveris will remain as chair.
What we're doing is streamlining the process so they can make the decisions that are necessary and so they can be agile and efficient.
That ends the sports segment. We'll now have the weather forecast. Regional forecast. Southern. Port Moresby, few showers with possible inland thunderstorms. Mumase. Ley, few showers and possible thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands. Kavieng, Kokopo and Rabaul, possible brief showers. And Highlands region. Mendi, Tari and Wabeg, possible heavy rain showers with thunderstorms. And that ends the news this Saturday. Thanks for your company. Good night.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and